Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it right now, this is the perfect time for you. If it has been some time since I posted this, what was going on back then in your life, that could give you further clarity regarding your situation. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we do have what is at the bottom, the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is sitting on his throne. He's considered to be the most charismatic of all the kings, a visionary, someone who has a really brilliant mind and is able to kind of anticipate what the future is going to hold. He is someone that is very charming and a lot of fun to be around. A lot of people really enjoy his energy. And he is holding his wand, which is his the element that he represents, fire. And this is talking about having passion, a lot of passion, and a passion for new discovery, like wanting the King of Wands enjoys learning for the joy of it. Do you want to come up, Stella? My cat wants to join the reading here. Stella, okay, your job is to purr. Do that. Lay down and purr. All right. Sorry for the interruption. We do have on all the court cards of the fire element, there is this energy of these salamanders in a circle, and there's even a little salamander running here. This represents protection to fire. But one thing I really noticed, and because this is the underlying energy for the entire reading, is that one day I noticed, hey, that looks like two eyes and smoke coming out of someone's nose, and then someone smoking something. And so where there's smoke, there's fire. That's the energy I'm picking up. The king isn't worried about the smoke because he is protected from fire. And we have then the Three of Wands. So this energy is speaking about someone like this is possibly the King of Wands energy here. I'm just going to double check that I do have, yes. My camera, I was doing a different kind of reading, so I want to make sure that my camera is set up so you'll be able to see all the cards by the time I'm done here. And so this energy is talking about, there's three wands here, and the wands represent actions. So it's like this, it's almost like this person has crossed into the portal through it and has his hand on a new action. This energy is really very much in the presence of all the readings right now. This is talking about someone who is looking into the distance and thinking, I really want to expand my horizons. Now this looks like it could be a desert, but actually it is water. There's ships on it. It's just that the sun is shining on it. So it's kind of saying this person is kind of, if it's the King of Wands energy, they're destined to always be looking for adventure, looking for new ways to do things, and always kind of looking into the horizon, like what should I do next? That kind of energy. And it's saying your ships are sailing in, maybe hop on one and go on an adventure, that kind of energy. And we have the Page of Wands coming in. And so the Page of Wands is bringing in information either to or from the King of Wands. This is talking about the Page of Wands. The pages would work for the king and the queen in the court. Generally, they would start around the age of 7 to 14, and then they would, start off by doing small tasks and running errands and delivering messages in between inside the palace walls. And then if they were really good at it and they were, had enough money to purchase a horse, they could be considered for knighthood when they were 21. And so this energy is talking about some form of communication coming in. The Page of Wands is very focused on his wand here. This is the energy, really a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion. Sometimes this energy can represent, he's so focused on his wand that sometimes he thinks with his little head instead of his big head. But he does have a feather in his cap, and it's already like apparent that by the pyramids here, the pyramids represent the mysteries of the universe. And so he wants to investigate the energy of the mysteries of the universe. in the old days, of course, that would be, the communication would be coming in person, and it would always be a male. This could nowadays be a female in their masculine energy. And it's also talking about the energy of, the communication could be just a letter coming in. It could be something like an email. It could be a social media post that you see. It could be something in the news. Whatever's happening in the news at the top is possibly happening on different levels. My cat thinks we're playing here, so I'm trying not to use my hands to do, because she wants to play. You're being really patient, little girl. So this is talking about, that some sort of communication coming in that way. And we have 2 pentacles here. So this is saying that if this is, again, the King of Wands energy, or someone else is really multitasking at this time, really having to juggle, a lot of energy. And this is representing, sometimes it's representing having to juggle pentacles. Now, pentacles in the tarot represent health, wealth, happiness, abundance, brought down to the 3rd dimensional. But this is talking about lifestyle. It's not, a big part of lifestyle is having the coin and the money. But it's talking, you can have all the money in the world and still not have the lifestyle that you want to live. And so this is talking about sometimes having to juggle your time, your energy, your investments, your money, that kind of energy, like always like being in this energy where I've got to juggle it. Working too hard, playing too hard, that kind of energy, what should I invest in? What do I need to take? It's like, what is that saying? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Is that it? Robbing Paul to pay? No, I think it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's just popped in my head. It's not a saying that I'm very familiar with, actually. So this is talking about gaining momentum. So, and you notice, like, we have ships here, and so it's saying whatever, maybe this choice, and we have 3 wands, and we have these 3 waves. So whatever you're working on is gaining momentum. And so it's kind of talking about, it's kept you very busy, and you've been really involved in it. And you need some peace of mind. It's time, like, you need to rest a little bit, it's saying. So this is really important, especially at this time, because we're entering the fiery horse energy. And the fiery horse energy in the new year will be on February 17th. And the thing is about the fiery horse energy, it's very, it loves adventure. It's very much this energy, what we talked about. But the danger of it is to take on too much and expect to get it done too quick. And then you're juggling so much that you're multitasking so much that you're actually producing a lot of quantity but not quality work. And then you have to go back and do everything over again. So it's actually slowing you down instead of speeding you up. And it's also saying that you have to be very careful not to burn yourself out in this energy. This fire horse energy makes everybody want to do. Let's gallop, let's go for a long ride, let's gallop. And it's kind of talking about you need to pace yourself and you need to quiet your mind right now. You do not want to be doing anything impulsively, because especially if you're, the year of the horse is talking about, if you're riding a horse, the way that you control them is through the reins and in the bit in the horse's mouth. And the reason it works is because the corners of a horse's mouth are very sensitive. And so if, it's trained that whatever energy you put into the reins directs the direction it goes. Having said that, if the horse gets the bit in its mouth and it's in between the teeth, you don't have any control over that horse at that point. If you've ever ridden a horse, or if you've ever seen that happen, they just take off and they go. And the thing is, if they got spooked, and that's why it happened, and it can, like if a horse gets spooked and you're riding it and you weren't expecting it and you weren't paying attention, then that's when this kind of shift happens. And all you can do is really hang on until the horse gets tired. And the horse can take you in the wrong direction very fast, very hard, you know what I mean? And it can be, if you fall off, it can be like you could get really badly physically hurt and, hit your head or something like that. So it's really important right now to recognize that you don't want to go so fast and multitask so much that you're doing impulsive things and then causing yourself to actually move backward rather than forward, or taking the path that you really, really regret later. It's talking about control your emotions, like don't let your temper get the best of you, that kind of energy. And go and meditate and pray. So this is talking about hanging your mind. The swords represent your mind and your mental intelligence and your thoughts. Hang that on the wall and lay your mind to rest and focus on going inward and praying and meditating. We have a church window here. It looks like it's a church here, and it's talking on this stained glass window is the word Pax. Pax means peace. So this is, quiet your mind so that you can intuit your inner guidance system and hear messages from the divine. So, okay, this is the course you need to take. And I'm getting the reason why you've been doing this is because even though you've been putting all this energy in, you're wondering what the heck is happening here. Like, I've put all this energy in, and this is the only pentacle I have right here to show for it. This doesn't seem to be paying off at all. And you're trying to figure out why. There should be way more money here for all the effort I've put in, and I've done everything right as far as I know how to do it. I'm going to meditate on this and see, like, I might just take this one pentacle I have and, let go of this and just go do something else now. That's the kind of energy. And then we have the Knight of Swords energy. So the Knight of Swords is communication coming in now from a knight. So this would be coming from outside the palace walls. It looks like it's coming towards your energy here, because this is representing you. And it could be, because the King of Wands is facing this way, this could be the King of Wands sending a message to you, that kind of energy. Doesn't have to be, or this can be the King of Wands. Yeah, well, it's moving towards this energy here, and you're moving this way. So I feel like this energy is coming towards you. And it could possibly be from the King of Wands energy. This is the underlying energy for the entire reading. So this could actually represent you moving forward, because this is very much King of Wands energy. So it would be different for different people. So we'll just take it at that. And so this message coming in, this horse, like this is the horse that got the bit in the mouth kind of energy. Now it's just running and it doesn't even know. So this can be someone who's like driving a horse really fast. Like, get going, move it. We got to get there as quickly as possible. Or this could be someone just trying to hang on because this horse is bringing in some information of some impulsive actions from the past that are now, the shift has hit the fan, and you're running into the information is coming towards you. And it could be coming from the King of Wands, or you could be the King of Wands receiving this information, just depending on your situation. You would know better than I in that instance. This person is running against the wind and running through barren land. So whatever information he has, he doesn't have the full set. We cannot see the point. So what's the point of this energy? We do not know. But I'm getting that it's not peaceful, that's for sure. You can tell that by the energy. This is that energy I was warning you of, where you can really burn yourself out by doing too much too fast and not paying really attention. And then when you do have time to pay attention, you're like, whoa, I was so busy, but I wasn't accomplishing what I thought I was. Why? And this is the information coming in, why you weren't accomplishing what you were meant to. And that's because you finally took some time to really look into, hey, what's going on here? Your intuition was saying to you, something's up. Okay, so there were so many opportunities, and it's kind of like, sometimes people don't realize, but it's not just being able to have opportunities, but knowing which opportunity to choose and in what order. So the Seven of Cups represents, gifts coming in, and usually like this is gifts of love, like something that you would love to do or an opportunity. But a lot of opportunities are disguised as challenges. So, you have to be able to face the challenge, and you have to know the order of which cup to take at which time and how many cups can you handle. So this can talk about, it also can talk about someone who is, and this is not uncommon, the King of Wands is a visionary, saying that he has a roving eye. He's always looking into the horizon, which can give him a roving eye when it comes to love. And because he's so charming, he's the kind of guy you wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. And he's highly desirable. So, he's a king and he's really handsome and charming, intelligent, a lot of fun to be around. So he has many opportunities when it comes to love. And perhaps this is saying it has something to do with that kind of energy. So I'm building a pyramid here. This is the tools that you have at this time. And now we're going to go into what are the obstacles here. So the obstacles are being trapped by your mind. That's basically the energy, and it's sitting right on here. Having too many opportunities, trying to do too many things at once, maybe trying to be loving too many people at once, like this can represent for sure lovers, but it also can represent people pleasing, like doing your best. Okay, I got to please mom, and then I got to please dad, and they're divorced, so then I got to have 2 Christmases at each house, and I got to drag my kids back and forth, and I'm divorced myself, so my kids already, that's like 4 Christmases for them. Then my ex-wife, her parents are divorced, so it's more like 8 Christmases for the kids kind of energy. And if you think about it that way, it can be a lot of thinking, navigating. This is a mental prison. This is saying like too many thoughts, too much, like not being able to see what's the most important, which is the best opportunity to take, trying to do too much at once and not being able to do it that much. But the good thing here is what this is saying is I feel like at one point there was way more water here. The water represents like these emotions, right? And this is saying that you felt duty bound to do all these things, in a situation. And I just listed some of them, but it doesn't necessarily have to be them. But those are some of the things I'm picking up. This person has their right foot on dry land, and I feel like this was a lot more water, but now it's like dissipating. And so the emotions are calming down, and her left foot is just in this little puddle here. So this is talking about, what's left is more shallow. It's not as dry. It's not as much of a prison. And really, you could walk away from it now and get clarity by going inward and deciding, okay, what's the next best action that I'm going to take right here? And I feel like that's this based on this new information that has come in. Kind of idea. That's the energy I'm picking up. And then this is talking about, okay, this is contemplating here. Should I move on to, should I hop on one of these ships and or should I wait? Like, am I, I feel like this is kind of an energy of feeling like, it could be like a situation where if I move, then I have to move away from my children and be further away from them. And it's going to complicate matters if you're in a divorce situation. Quite often the swords can represent that kind of energy. It's just, I'm picking up. Or if I take this position or I start another company and it's in this other location, it's going to take even more time away from my home and my family. And is that what I want to do? And so this is when someone realizes, I'm a big fish in a little pond. I have to expand my horizons. I'm at the top of my castle. I've done everything I can here. I have the world in my hands here, but there's so much more that I need to do to be able to, have that legacy of wealth for my family. There's not enough money here. I've got to expand my horizons. I need to possibly cross the water here and plant some more seeds on the other side. This could, quite often this is franchise energy, so this is talking about being in a position where, okay, I'm going to hire someone to manage this, and I'm going to move forward and start something else up. So I have more pentacles here. And then this is talking about that energy I was just saying, having to walk away and be distant from a situation that you love. So this can represent, being in a romantic relationship or having a family, and perhaps you have children, and it's kind of talking about, okay, I need to, it's going to cost me a lot of time with my family, but if I make the pentacles, then my partner can at least be the one that can hold down the fort at home, and I'll bring the coin in so that we have enough money to move forward in the way that we need to or we want to. And so this energy is also, again, talking about the full moon and the new moon. I've been doing a lot of readings on the full moon. I have one more to do, and then I'll have them complete. So you might want to check that out. This full moon is basically being caught in this energy. Do I do what's best for myself? It's a Leo full moon. So it's talking about like the fire energy, and do I do what's best for myself, and ultimately what will be best for the family. And because I'm the leader of the family, and I need to do this to be able to have what I need to be able to support my family, or do I do what the family wants me to do? And that, I feel, is the energy that this reading's talking about. And okay, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is talking about you're going to go after the Pentacles. Like you recognize, I need to go after the Pentacles because we won't have what we need anyway then. So something has to be done here. And this is the energy of, so the King of Pentacles is someone that's really well known for having business acumen, someone that really you could take good solid advice from. They're well respected in the community for having good business acumen, and they are, they have a legacy of wealth here. This quite often can represent old money. This could also represent you possibly hiring someone that you feel is capable to run like what the energy that you already have here, so that you can go and travel and then put someone that is in charge. Or it can represent going to get really good, strong advice from a financial advisor. Or sometimes it can talk about someone else wanting to back your business now and making some sort of agreement, like with another partner so that you can move forward. That kind of energy. And then we have the Queen of Swords coming in. So the Queen of Swords energy is talking, I don't like this decision. Just give me my money, I'm out of here. That's the energy I'm picking up. So the Queen of Swords is the most likely to be divorced of all the queens. She's maybe, I feel like if this is a relationship that's been like, say it was 8 years already. And, the King of Wands has been in this energy. And she's facing him and saying, you know what, I am tired of your bullshit. My head is out of the clouds. I know what I want in my life, and I want some peace in my life. This could be her energy here, saying, she's making the decision here. I don't want to have to deal with your shift anymore. You've cheated on me. You've been, like I'm not into it. And so she's saying, she has her hand out and she's saying, I want my portion of this and I want to move on. And this energy, she has her sword up, and you better come in correct here, because I got my sword out and I know what I know and I have clarity. My head's above the clouds. I know what you've been up to. If you think I didn't know, I did know. And I'm just done. I'm done with the bullshit. I want to move on. I feel like that's very much the energy here. She's like looking right at the financial advisor and saying, give me my money. And you go do whatever the hell you want to do. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. And she's very cold about it. And I don't get maybe necessarily that she was always this cold, but she has had to come to a decision. So I feel like the sword energy, I feel like all this wand energy is representing the King of Wands. And the sword energy is maybe the partner that he's with in a marriage. And I feel like there are children. There could be 3 children here, or 2 children. I don't know. There's sometimes, like, this card can sometimes represent, you were going along and you were doing fine. And the reason there could be 3 children here plus the 2 of you, and you were doing fine. But now there was a third party that came in here, and it has disrupted your life. And the Queen is saying, I'm done. This is like the last straw for me. 3 strikes, you're out. That's the energy she's in. I want out of this relationship. I want some peace in my life. That's the energy I'm feeling. And the King of Wands wasn't expecting this, is what's coming up. He was like, oh, she's never been this way before. And it may have happened 7 other times here, but this time she means it. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to have to, we're going to have to deal with this energy. These are the obstacles for everybody to have ultimate happiness. And this is talking about like recognizing, okay, like we've got to do something here so that we all can have as much happiness and the love that we want and need in our life. This is talking about a couple that's really happy with children. And so this could be maybe the decision that the King of Wands wants to make. The Queen of Swords is saying, if you make that decision, then I'm not going to, if you're going to be home even less now, then I'm going to go after my ultimate fulfillment. I'm going to look for a partner that wants to spend more time with me and the children, and I'm going in that direction. Or it could be that that's what I feel like it is. I feel it's most likely to be that. Let's see. We have the Emperor energy coming in. So the Emperor is all four kings rolled into one. So that it could represent, we already have two kings down here. So we only need two more kings to be an emperor. So this is talking about really having to put, the emperor wears his armor on underneath his robe, and he's all four kings rolled into one. So the energy here is you have, the emperor has a lot of business acumen. He's highly respected. He's a responsible person in that, maybe not so much in matters of love. And then in this energy, the King of Wands, it's that side, following his passion and having like the ability to bring it down to earth. This also can represent a judicial person that you go to advice for. Someone, the Emperor is all about performance. So it could be like, this could represent lawyer energy, like that the Queen has hired a lawyer. I want my happiness. Here's my lawyer, talk to him. That's the energy. I feel like, yeah, and she has conviction without a doubt that this is the direction she wants to move in. It's just the energy I'm picking up, like really strong here. And so this is like, I have my foot in one world and one in the other. This is the energy of the shoe and, or the shoe and the boot. Like this is maybe, again, this could be an impulsive action that she's taking, but she doesn't care. She's just, some sort of news came in and, she didn't like it. and she's like she's in this energy. I am standing on my conviction. I know without a doubt that this is the energy, the way I'm going. I know what I know, and I'm not entertaining your bullshit anymore. That's just, I'm just not. See you, goodbye. I'm going with what is in my heart, and I'm going to, I'll fight for what I need to, talk to my lawyer. That's the energy. And this is something, it could be that there was some sort of situation where one of these two people has run into their soulmate and it changed things, it shifted things. Or it could be the energy of the masculine and the feminine within yourself coming together, and your higher self saying, okay, you need to balance this out so you can make strong decisions at this time. And that's the energy. It's a different scenario for different people. It could be that this was actually a soulmate of yours, like that, and it, at first it was, the energy was really supportive of that, but there was life happened a bit. Let's just say life happened, and now it's kind of like it feels like this relationship has gone sideways, and it's just, and the Queen has made up her mind. I just feel like the energy is like, yeah. And then we have the Queen of Wands energy, and I feel like just saying that, this is sitting, I feel like this is the energy right here. The Queen of Wands was in a relationship, and she felt like, I'm dedicated to this partner, but this cheating that was going on, I'm done with it. I'm walking away. I'm putting my mind to peace. That's it. That was her decision. So this is talking, the Queen of Wands is talking about being someone that, she's also a visionary. So she really enjoyed this energy from the King. And she is also likes her intuition and her logic to make creative solutions to problems. And normally she has a sunny disposition and is like really, follows the sun and is kind of an optimist in that. She doesn't have a lot of superstitions. She can own a black cat. If you want to be concerned that it's, going to be superstitious and bad luck, that's for you. She's not worried about stuff like that. She's just goes on her path. She's aware of the shift going on around her, but she takes an attitude kind of, oh, okay, well, I can find a creative solution for that, and using her intuition and her like ability to be an optimist basically. But something happened here when this information came in, and she was like, I'm done. And she means it. and it's just going to change things. And yes, it involved temptation. So I feel like the king energy, which may be the emperor now, that someone is, or the emperor is the one that's handling it. So recognize sometimes when more than one king or more than one queen comes along, that it's one person showing those two traits together. And so I feel at one time the king and the queen really enjoyed that passion and the visionary and all of that and all the opportunities, and kind of wasn't that concerned with that it wasn't steady. But maybe now that there's children involved, it's kind of like, no, I need more stability in my life, and that's the energy. So the temptation coming in could have been from the Queen of Wands. She may have found a different lover, and now she wants this happiness with them. This also could be the King of Wands is in that position. And remember, these are archetypes. So the king, to complicate matters even more, the king could be a female in her masculine energy, and the queens could be males in their feminine energy. And so all of the temptations that are involved in that, especially these days. So this is talking about two lovers who are yoked by chain to Saturn's box, to each other and to Saturn's box. So it's kind of an agreement they made with between themselves. I feel like this is almost like that energy of an open marriage kind of energy. And the thing about, I've noticed, like, when you talk to a lot of people over the years, I've noticed a lot of men will say they're in an open marriage, but they're actually not. And a lot of women will say, okay, you can be in an open marriage, but they don't really think that the partner is going to actually do it. It's kind of like, oh, if I give him enough leash, he'll hang himself kind of energy. And so this energy is more about lust than love. And this is talking about the temptation. And so both of them might have been, doing whatever. It's really doesn't, I feel like if they were in agreement with it, it was one thing. But if on some level the agreement was broken, then this energy is like it's null and void. And I don't know, it's hard enough to deal with two people, let alone three. Two's company, three's a crowd. Generally that's the case. And so look at this. So this is I always cover the devil card with another card just to see who did they send in. Is this actually, is this going to continue? What is their motivation, basically? Does God step in? Like, what's the energy? And here we have the death to this energy. So this is over. I just feel that maybe it worked really well and they were in agreement, but then something happened and now she's in this energy. Like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want a more traditional lifestyle. I want to be, I'm making this transition. I'm putting an end to this. This is the horse energy coming in again here. And you look at the difference between this horse and this horse. You notice, and this horse she's moving forward this way. You see, this is the way she's facing, and this is the energy going this way. So it's at odds is what's coming up. And so this is talking about, there's a major transition happening here. And so I feel like that's like an ending of the marriage or an ending of the relationship if they weren't married, whatever it is. So, but this is talking about there's light at the end of the tunnel. This can be resolved, and eventually maybe it will be, and things will work out in the way that, is best for everyone involved, kind of. But it's very volatile right now is what I'm getting. And then we have this energy here of not knowing which way to go. Okay, should I do this or should I do that? What if I do this? What if I do that? The woulda, shoulda, couldas. If I hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't be in this. Like, it's the regret and kind of like anxiety mixed, this kind of energy. And so this, she's sitting here and she's blindfolded. And so there's an energy here of, this can represent someone who has a very closed mind. And they're saying, I don't know, it's either this way or that way. I don't know which one to do, either this or that. And if she goes inward, she'll see, oh, there's all sorts of ways to deal with this. It doesn't have to be this or that. We notice we have the new moon in the background. And so we have that new moon coming up very, very shortly here in the energy of, on the same day that the horse energy is coming in, like from the Chinese New Year. And it's an eclipse, a solar eclipse. So it's kind of like really, like this is like really going to be intense energy. So this is saying like be really careful about the, you know, don't be so my way or the highway. You want to be more in your true energy where you're looking for creative solutions, not revenge kind of energy. And this is also talking about, there's a saying, because you have eyes you cannot see. So you know, we're only able to see like a very small spectrum of the light. There's a lot, most of it we can't see, and that's what we, you know, the physicists refer to as you know, the dark energy. And a lot of people feel that energy is empty, but there's new research coming out now that says, hey, this is full. Like it could be like full of, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Just because you have eyes doesn't mean you can see. That's that kind of energy. And so this is talking about really this body language is like draining the energy, like really it's being putting a real strain on someone because they're in this closed mind energy, and they need to open up to the possibilities by using your intuition as well as your logic. That's the energy that would be very beneficial. And so now we have lovers coming in on the energy of the soulmates. So this can be saying quite a few things. This can be saying that that energy ended from this energy after going inward, and it was kind of like maybe you managed to be able to work it out on some level, or because the queen has made this decision, she's now in this energy where this is over now. This relationship is over. She's gone inward and she has met someone, and this energy is her soulmate. And so that's the energy. Or she met this person and that's what drove her to make this decision. When she met this person, she realized, wow, this person it's just so much better, and I don't even really know them that well. There's this energy, this cloud here represents that you don't know each other that well. It's in between them. So this energy is saying a lot of things. It's saying, you know, there's so many different ways, but if this is someone new that you met, and this, like, look at this energy from the higher self, and it's a very similar, you notice that? But this one is backed by the sun. So this is saying this is your actual soulmate. And I feel like that before, this actually can be the energy of this was a soulmate, but now your twin flame is coming in. Or your twin flame, you thought it was you thought your twin flame was just a soulmate, but they're actually your twin flame coming in. So it just depends. There's just a lot of energy coming in. And then we have victory. Okay, so I feel like the energy here for the King of Wands, because this is representing the King of Wands energy, is seeing things this way. So maybe the King of Wands is saying, okay, this person that the Queen of Swords is so upset about is actually my twin flame energy. And that person, this is representing victory. That person is now like coming toward me. That's the energy. You may or may not have met this person yet, but I have a feeling it may have been one of these opportunities down here. So this energy is coming towards the King of Wands, and they're looking at each other, and this is representing victory because you were able to control your emotions, go inward, meditate, and the timing is right now to meet. That's the energy. And so all of these actions in the background are, you know, people are being, okay, they realize, okay, this is the energy that needs to be happening for these two people to meet. And they could be, like, this could be a true twin flame connection. That's the energy. And in the meantime, the Queen of Swords, you know, like she has her sword up, but maybe she has met someone who's her soulmate also. And so it just works out. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes there is happy endings to stories. as unlikely as they can be. And look at this is again showing another horse energy. And you notice that this horse and this horse are very much in the same energy. They're both paying attention to the rider. They're not fighting the rider. They're going in the direction. That's a horse can tell in a second whether someone who's on their back is someone they can trust or not. They know immediately. Horses are really smart when it comes to that energy. And so this is the energy of, this quite often represents being left out in the cold. But I feel like this is like now the queen, her heart might be melting a little bit. Like she's okay, let's get along. Let's all get along. For however this worked out, it worked out. And so the energy is, okay, let's look for commons, easy solutions here. Back in this energy again, kind of that energy. Let's make this a fair parting or whatever, and there may be children. So we want to make sure we do everything that's best for our children. And okay, she's calmed down a little bit. She still is cold. She doesn't want to be with this energy, but this energy wants to be with this energy anyway. So, and the queen, I feel, has met, this energy is she already has someone that she knows that she could be happy with, because that's what came in here. It's really interesting energy. So then we have a card of reconciliation. This can represent the energy of the king and the queen forgiving each other and themselves, and then reconciling with their childhood issues maybe that would cause this, and understanding, okay, this is a victory if we both can stand in our convictions, and our two worlds can be separate now, but we don't have to be in this energy where, we're so cold to each other. We can actually reconcile on some level and be able to have some innocence again. And I feel like, because this is talking about reconciliation, this card represents reconciliation, but it can say reconciliation of your own energy, like of what happened when you were a child that shaped you. And it really does have a big significant role on your ability to commit and that kind of energy. So this is talking about having the first step for reconciliation is forgiveness. But when people forgive someone, it doesn't necessarily mean they want to ever have anything to do with that person again. It just means, okay, I forgive you, I forgive myself, whatever happened, and I'm moving forward, and I don't want to be carrying all this anger, but I really don't want to have anything to do with you. That kind of energy. And this can also be representing the energy, because on some level, this is talking about the king is looking at this reconciliation and wanting it. It may be with this new energy that's coming in towards him. So this could be someone that the king has his roving eye on someone that he's met in the past. And it could be someone from his childhood that he hasn't seen in a long time, and they bumped into each other or whatever. And he's like, oh, this is someone that I could really enjoy having a relationship with again. So it's that kind of energy. For some reason, everything works out. But it works out in, what is that? On a cold day in hell, that somehow, like that, chances of that happening are like a cold day in hell. I think there's some sort of saying like that. I'm going to look it up after. That might be the title of this, or the thumbnail for this reading. Something like that. I'm going to look it up after this reading. So this is the Knight of Pentacles coming in, and this again, this horse energy. And you notice the horse is at a standstill now. And so it's talking about like taking the time to do things correctly. When the Knight of Pentacles can be really frustrating, because this energy is like, so slow out of all the kings. Like the horse is at a standstill. For God's sake, make up your mind. It's like that kind of energy. Do you have to have a board meeting with yourself to make every single decision? Like just do something already. Take direction. Let's get this done. That's the energy. But when, in all fairness to the Knight of Pentacles, when the information comes in, it's been very well thought out, and it's really a really solid offer. It's a legacy, you know, and it could be like, okay, this is something, when it's a pentacle, this is how we can do it so that we create a legacy of wealth, and we have generational wealth that we can pass down to our children and still be satisfied without both our needs being met. That kind of energy took a lot of energy and effort to get to this decision, but it is a solid offer is what's coming in. And then we have the Tower. So this is the reality, and I feel like this is saying you avoided a tower at the last second. I feel like there is a tower coming in. And in my oracle that I will use to clarify, we'll see what it has to say, but sometimes this can represent divorce and the negotiations in divorce kind of energy. We'll see. But I really feel like this is like, if you guys don't work this out and you don't work it out quick here, there's going to be a reality check that comes in, and it's going to be bad for both of you. Like, you need to make a decision. The universe is tired of this. Get to it. Like, that's the energy. You're getting knocked off your pedestal here. You know, you're sitting here on your pedestal here trying to make up your mind. What are you going to do next? You quit having a board meeting with yourself for every single decision. Make up your mind. Get her done. Canadians have a saying, get her done. And that's the energy that's coming up here. And so, yes, this is talking about, okay, now action's happening. And this is like the Sagittarian energy where, you know, the centaur on the horse, and that's very similar to this fiery horse energy that's coming in on the 17th. It's saying, hey, the bow is drawn, you launched your arrows, and now they're landing. So whatever action you decided on here is going to land, and I feel it's going to avoid having to have a big tower moment. It's like at the last minute. It's kind of like, whew, this energy is coming in. And this is like the energy, I feel like, thank God for the Emperor coming through and saying, okay, this is the actions that you're going to take. I've come up with the solution. This is what we're going to do. And avoid this. And it's a heartbreaking decision being made. I feel like this is saying, yes, there's going to be a divorce, but it doesn't have to be as ugly as it looked like it was going to be. There is a situation. There's been a lot of heartbreak here. You know, and this is also talking, this energy here is talking about, when you first see it, it's like, good Lord, this person has 3 swords in their heart. So this is talking about energy of, there's quite often in matters of love that the couple, there was a third person that came between them. And it also can be talking about, there was a lot of gossip and slander, and people's reputations were involved, and people were talking, and these people weren't talking to each other, and it was ugly. And this is talking about, you know, finally being able to speak your truth, and the other person being able to speak their truth and coming to some sort of resolution. So when the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind come together and they're congruent with your heart's desires, that's when you can find these intuitive answers that are really beneficial. And they're probably not going to come from your mind, they're going to come from your heart. And so it's that kind of energy. Okay, and then at the very end we have, okay, we did have some energy coming in here. This is talking about when someone is elevated in their position and you're being admired, like everybody can realize, see, hey, you have reached your skill set here. But this is talking about collaborating with other people that were not in alignment with your goals or with your marriage or whatever. And because of that, this is that threesome energy. There's 3 people here. So some decision in the past that was made caused all this energy. Quite often, this energy is representing secret society energy or companies, corporations, energies like that, things that you don't know even that are behind the scenes happening. And because it's hidden, it's like secret society. Like this is like the very top powers in the world. It's, look at it, sitting at the top of the pedestal. Things that the common person doesn't even begin to understand. The forces behind it, the tactics being played out, etc. That kind of energy. And I find it interesting that we do have, at this time. Like we just were, the energy is January 26th, and that this reading will come out. And we just had a lot of the elite and the political leaders and some of the most innovative thinkers coming together at Davos. And their motto there, like in the past, it was like, oh, we have to, save the planet because, we can't, we have to be green, green, green. There's not even one word about, I never heard any, like I watched quite a bit of the speeches because I like to know what direction is the global theater taking, kind of. And there's some of the most brilliant minds there and some of the biggest leaders, obviously, in the world that are making some top decisions that are going to affect everybody, the economy, what's happening in countries, and it's really wise to kind of have an idea of what's going on. And so you have all these brilliant minds coming together, but all these different ideas coming together. And this energy was, for this Davos gathering, was we're going to communicate with people, but like it still seemed like the same old shift where you couldn't understand the communication coming in if you tried. And what happened to all the concern about the planet being green? Not one of them mentioned it. Now they're talking about AI. It's kind of like, when you watch the news and a disaster happens and you're like, oh, those poor people, and you wonder what happened to them, but you never hear about it on the news again because it was just that 15 minutes of fame kind of energy, and now we're on to the next disaster or the next whatever is trendy kind of energy. And so I found it like, it's kind of like, I don't know, makes me sad. Like I just felt like crying. I felt like, it's the same old shift. A bunch of people full of talk and no action. That's the energy I felt like. Same old shift, same old story, whatever. Nothing gets done. They don't do what they say they're going to do. And then you bring that down to the energy to a lot of people I think on the planet are feeling that way. But you have to recognize as above, so below. And there's only about 1% to 2% of the population making those decisions. So we all have a part of that. And we have a responsibility. And I feel like that's the energy. It's kind of like the people we hire to run countries, because we vote for them and then we pay them with our tax dollars. We are the government. It's like we're talking about the vast majority of people on the planet making decisions in everyday life that then reflect the decisions. If you look at the universe as above, so below, and as below, so above, this energy is like, hey, we have a lot more power than we think. But if we're going to use tactics with each other and not be able to figure out what's happening in our own home, how can we expect them to be able to solve all the problems in the world? Like, really? One person. You know what I mean? And so, it's a huge responsibility. I have a love-hate relationship with that kind of energy. I mean, it's, really disappointing, but in other ways, it's at the same time, you can understand, what kind of person would you have to be to accept that responsibility? It's a lot of responsibility, it's not, running a household is hard enough, let alone running a country. I don't know. It takes a lot of courage for them to stand up there and do that. Regardless, I feel that that's the truth. And so I have a lot of admiration, and at the same time, I have a lot of kind of disgust. Are we ever going to have people actually do what they say they're going to do? And that's the energy of the sword energy as opposed to the wand energy. This is about action, and this is all about talk. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. That's the energy. That's maybe the name of this reading, I feel. Something like that. Anyway, I'll get off my high horse and get on with the reading. Just this energy irritates me in some ways, beyond words. It just really does. So let's go after this. Okay, we're going to use my oracle, Tales from the Vector, TAILS. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and we are going to clarify with this energy. So the numbers on these cards represent the paintings that I did. I started it in 2007. I completed the paintings, 64 of them, in 2020. And now what I'm doing is I'm bringing it out eventually, but I want to play with the cards and get the energy straight. And that's the only way to do that, is put them into action so you can see. There we go. Before I put my words down on the paper in the book that goes with this tarot or with this oracle, I do want to make sure that I put them into action. See if they actually work or not. That's the energy. I have had them out over the years. At psychic fairs for several years and at seminars. So they've been out and about, and it's been a lot of fun. And a lot of, like, I have a lot of knowledge from them, but now I want to take it to the next level, because this is the first time I have all the paintings done and the time to really, put it together now. And so that's, I want to thank you for your time and energy here. I am tuning into this energy right now. I'm just wanting to make sure that we're tuned in. In the description box below here, I will have them in the order they appear here. If you want to go to my website, you can go check it out. And let's see here. Usually there's a card that wants to come out, and then I know, okay, here we have it. Okay, what is this card? Earth Star, manifestation on Earth through the sacral chakra. So this is, yes, talking about being able to really produce on planet Earth and to use your creative ability to do so. And then, I'm just going to go from the bottom to the top here just before, because once I cover this, we won't be able to see it. So this is talking like someone standing at the threshold of wanting to move forward in a different way. They can feel their ships are sailing in, and they want to hop on one and go after it for this ultimate fulfillment. And the Emperor energy is all about performance. So it's talking about wanting to aspire to that level. But what's happened is it's left two people out in the cold, and that's representing this relationship. There's reconciliation on some level, there's been some forgiveness on some level, or there wouldn't even be an opportunity to reconcile. This can also represent being in an energy of meeting new people and not being left out in the cold anymore. A heartbreaking decision had to be made because choices in the past were collaborations with energy that was not in alignment with what you wanted, with what your desired path is. The actions that were taken can have caused a tower, and that has caused, in particular, where is she? The Queen of Swords, to say, I can't do this anymore, I'm moving on, you go your way, I'm going my way. This is the energy of a major transition because of this reality check, and I feel that reality check came in here with the energy of this horse, this Knight of Swords coming in with the information. And what it did, though, is it released everybody from this like duty-bound energy and having to do things a certain way and finding creative solutions. And that now this is going to create opportunities for both people involved in the relationship as well. It's going to progress the whole planet forward in a better way. Because one thing's for sure, we're not talking about people that are not they're not slouches. They're very driven people that have given a lot, So this energy, everybody's going to make mistakes, but on some level there was some sort of temptation that came in and it didn't go well. Let me put it to you that way. The wrong choice was made at the time. And we have this energy here. Again, it's talking about the lover's energy. So this is saying it had to do with, there's two people, and then there was a third one. That's the energy I keep picking up. We have deception, and this is on juggling. So this card says juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And I feel like this is like kiss me good. This is about infidelity. This is about this energy here, and this caused a tower. And then it caused like this energy. I have to go inward now to be able to see what is the energy. There was a lot of jealousy involved, which is causing it's so interesting. Like if we get multitasking, I love multitasking, But at the same time, you have to be aware that, there's only so much multitasking you can do, and then the quality of your work suffers. And I feel like that's the energy here. And it's also talking about being divided between these energies, right? And so that in the end, the karmic space of jealousy, what's really funny is you can even be jealous of your own self. Like when you were at a time where you were like, I liked it better how I was 3 years ago. That kind of energy. So it's not an uncommon energy. A lot of people fall into the karmic space of jealousy. We're human, that's why. And so we have the energy of father figures. So this is, turning princes into frogs, and instead of turning frogs into princes. So it's kind of like just spoiled for opportunity, like having so many choices, not knowing which to make. The Lover's card here, and also here, is originally it's about choosing who is your partner. And a lot of people put more energy into choosing what kind of car they're going to purchase than they do who they're going to travel with. That kind of energy. So we have temperance, so having the patience. And this is I feel like what happened is a fool's rush in kind of decision was made, a very impulsive decision, and it has affected things like in a big way. And so it's requiring a lot of patience to get back on your path. But I feel like the energy is, people are like, okay, we found a way to move forward with this. And it's not like, the most romantic story ever, but it is in a way the most romantic story ever. It was, and now it isn't. That's kind of energy. And then we have the Sagittarius energy, wanting to move on, wanting to adopt a different attitude. Now, like an adventure, Jupiter, and then the luck, coming through. This is that expansion and contraction I was talking about, when things go to chaos and then they come back to center, and then they go to chaos, they come back to center. I want to make it very clear when I'm talking about the energies of the horoscope when they come in. This energy is not talking about, it was a Sagittarius, or it was a Capricorn, or it was this energy or that energy. What I'm talking about is the energy of that sign, the state of being. So the Sagittarius energy is the most mature of all the fire signs. So, and it's talking about really loving to travel the world, entertain different cultures, be like constantly in a learning mode. And not a lot of people are like that, really. Like most people, like they get to a point they want to settle down. And this energy here is talking very much, this feels very Sagittarius energy of wanting to always expand. Like it's always like, I want to learn something new now, that kind of energy. And with the fire horse energy coming up in 2026, it's coming with a warning that you do not want to make impulsive decisions and hot-headed decisions, because you already have enough fire. Like if you're in the Sagittarius energy here, you have enough fire. And your thing is more about learning how to be patient. And isn't that funny? Because this is also represents Sagittarian energy. And it's like talking about an angel just standing there with her foot in the water, right? And it's about having the patience to stay on your path. And out of all the qualities that people would say, what is Sagittarius known for? It's not about being patient. But in a way it is, because it requires a lot of patience for Sagittarius to slow themselves down to be able to make these decisions in a strong way. And so it's saying a lot of discipline of the mind. Then we have the Hangman coming in, and this is about balance. And it's talking about this balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. So that you don't need to lean on a male or masculine energy when you're a female, because you don't have enough in your own. You want to have that balance between them within yourself, so that when you that you're going to attract someone who also is balanced in that own way, and then you're way more likely to get through it, with less mishap kind of energy. And then we have the High Priestess energy coming in. So this is talking, use your intuition as well as your logic. And the High Priestess, she does use her logic according to the cycles of the moon. There's a crescent moon at her feet. And the High Priestess energy is also talking about being able to follow your intuitive energy, you know, and so she sits right next to God on the throne, and this energy in my oracle actually is, I have dragonflies in there, and that was the first dragonfly that came along, and it's a poinsettia, and a beautiful crystal-laden, adorned dragon representing this high priestess feminine energy, and it's talking about the birth of Christ. So it's that kind of energy. And then we have the star coming in. So the star energy is saying, again, with that full moon coming up on the 1st of February, this is a very Leo energy, being a leader, being aware. Is it not that one? Where do we have the leader energy? The victory, right under here. That's why I wanted to talk about it sooner, because now they're getting buried. But this is talking about moving forward in your own special leadership skills. You have to be on your divine path to be able to have access to the information you need from the spiritual realm, as well as what you need on the physical. You're not a human being with a soul. You're a soul traveling in a human body, and your soul has requirements, and if you don't listen to them, things go off course. We have, wishing for something is different. Like, you can wish on a shooting star, but then you have to put some energy into it. If you want to have a strong future, you need to, participate in it. So this is a good attitude can take take people a long way. And then we have the energy of this transition coming in. And see, it's talking about this energy here of, it's almost like having a good attitude has brought a transition to like this cold energy. And okay, let's reach into our hearts and let's have like a really good creative solution here that's going to work for both of us here. And then, hey, if think about that. If you have someone who's able to do that in their relationship, then maybe they should be one of the leaders of the world. Because this looks like it's a rather complicated situation here. So we have indifference. And so neutrality is not the same as indifference. Neutrality is when you're in the middle of two extremes, and it's kind of like being in a tug of war and not knowing which way to go, and you're back and forth and back and forth. The answer is let go of the rope. Let go of the rope and let things fall as they do. And indifference is when you see you're causing suffering and you don't care, or you see other people causing suffering and you don't speak up. That kind of energy. It's like just being indifferent to the suffering of other people in general on the planet. And this is also at the top here is dissemination of information. So this is believing in your own press. So, if you get to the point where you're highly elevated, people are looking up to you, you can still get in this energy where you make like dissemination of information as you start believing your own press, and you don't really you're not really seeing the whole picture. And we're all capable of that. All these tactics are tactics that every one of us is capable of using and abusing. And, of course, the more power you have, the more people are going to notice if you're abusing your power. So I feel like this is like really talking about, and it's really interesting, the only sign that came out in the horoscope is the Sagittarius energy, which is talking about this love of adventure and knowledge. So I really feel like that it's saying something to us, like, it's never too late for you to want to learn something new, or have an open mind and look at things from a different angle, like the hangman, going so far as to hang from the tree upside down so that you can get a totally opposite perspective. When you look at the problem from the exact opposite perspective that you have, you can learn a lot. That's what I'm getting this is saying. I really like this reading. I feel it's really beneficial. I love when my daily readings are more upbeat like this. There's a lot of shift that happened here, but it's like, typical, this shift happens in the world kind of energy. And like, looking forward and into things always being in a better way rather than getting bitter about it. Just looking, okay, we're all humans. Let's all do our best again. Let's just go at it again. We can always learn something new every single day. You're never too old to learn something new or to adopt a different, experiment, just, hey, maybe if I do it this way, it will be better. That kind of energy, having an open mind. Anyway, I really have enjoyed this reading. I hope you have also. Please do like and comment if you do, because it really does help me to build my channel. And I will be back with another reading for you tomorrow. Consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate with the energy. It would be my honor if you did so. Bye for now. Oh, Stella, you banged your little head. I'm sorry. Do you have a little headache? Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on.